If you force yourself into that environment, into that circle, into that party, into that job, you would very, very uncomfortable. You might force yourself into that business contract and you end up losing a lot of money. So try not to force yourself. When you're being rejected, look at it from a new perspective. Celebrate what you have. Celebrate your product. Appreciate it because it is your hard work, and try to look ahead for people who will appreciate what you've got, who would appreciate your product for what it is. And like I said, if there is an opportunity for you to improve on the product, go ahead and make the best use of improving on the product. Being excessively worried about rejection can compromise your quality of life. It hurts, I know, when you're being rejected. However, you are not responsible for the choices people make. Over the years, I have come to realize this. And you need to respect the fact that whatever your choice is not good for them. And that is why it doesn't work with them. And that's why they have rejected you. Rejection can be major, can be minor. Maybe it is a job offer, you've not been offered the job, or your friend or family does not patronize your business. It could be as minor as people not maybe replying to your chats, or responding to your messages, or even liking your posts or commenting on your posts on social media. It can affect your emotional well-being. It can take charge of you when you're struggling to accept that or to see rejection in different way. I believe that some of you have been there. I have been there. I'm still there. It's still a learning curve. Today I'll be talking about it in more details. Now, if this is the first time you're joining us and you don't know me, thanks for joining us first. I'm Bola Adeyeye Omishade, and this is the Bola Adeyeye Omishade Show. It is a community where we support people to be the best version of ourselves. So thanks for joining. If you want to watch our future episodes, you don't want to miss future episodes where we talk about topics to help support ourselves to be our best version, do not forget to click on the subscribe button, as well as the notification, so that you get reminder when we premiere or when any episodes is aired. And thanks for joining. Now, to my returning viewers, thank you so much. I really appreciate your consistent support. If by the end of this video you have learned one or two things, do not forget to give it a thumbs up. Thank you for doing that. Yes, back to today's topic. I'll be chatting with you about ways to deal with rejection. And rejection can come in many forms. It can be major rejection, it can be a minor rejection. But the most important thing is rejection can make us feel low, can make us feel unhappy, can affect our confidence level, can affect our self-esteem. And also overall, it can limit our quality of life, or compromise per se our quality of life. So the way in which we manage or deal with rejection is very, very important. It is something that we have to be intentional about and gain the skill, or make it part of our lives, to see rejection as something that is not harmful. Firstly, you do not have to take rejection personal. Over the years, I take rejection personal, and I always try not to ask so that I don't get a no, because I feel very bad when people reject me, when I make requests, or you turn me down and say no. I always take it personal. But now I have come to realize that rejection can be as a result of circumstances, might be as a result of you not fitting in, or apparently whoever is rejected you, like I said earlier, it is their choice. You're not responsible for the choices people make. It means that they have rejected you because whatever you have does not work for them. So do not take it personal and respect people's opinion, respect people's thoughts. I e- Even over the years, just while I even started this show, it's been a learning curve for me as well to always accept and respect people's decision, because people would only do what works for them. They do not have to do what works for you. So most importantly, do not take rejection personal. Always look at it that it is their choice that they have rejected you. It might be as a result of the circumstance or the situation surrounding whatever it is, whatever decision. You might have gone for a job interview and they have rejected you. It is an opportunity to learn something new. Like I always say, it could be a wake up call. They might have rejected it because somebody else is better. And that is why it's always very good that when you're being rejected, you get a feedback so that it's an opportunity for you to do something better. It might be you have not communicated well. It might be that you have not presented yourself well, or maybe your preparation for the interview was not good enough. Maybe in regards to your business and people turn you down, or you've not won the contract. It could be the way you're presenting your business. It could be the way you're presenting your product. Those are the things you need to check and ask yourself, why am I being rejected? It is an opportunity to sit down and reflect, and maybe you want to rephrase, or you want to review your goals, you want to review your business objectives. So what am I trying to say is rejection is an opportunity for you to learn something new. It's an opportunity for you to see things in a new perspective, to see a different way, or to try something new, to do it differently. I've also come to realize that when you've been rejected, you you need to sit down and talk to yourself. Firstly, I would say that it's okay to mourn. Don't get me wrong. You can mourn, you can cry, you can feel bad, but not for too long. And it's up to you for you to say, okay, I have cried, I've had my time to cry, I've had my time to mourn or to feel bad about the whole situation, but this is the time to move on. So you have to say to yourself that I need to move on. I need to accept that it is what it is. So I have to move on. And truthfully, you are the only one that can do that yourself. When you've been rejected, sit down and say to yourself that that's what it is, and I have to move on. And also, when you're being rejected, it does not mean that you have to give up, because some people, when they're being rejected, they don't try again. You, as an academia, we write, we or somebody who is in the academia, so that's the right word. We write papers, we submit papers, and we get rejected. Our papers get turned down. So it's a skill that we have to develop to to accept that it's always an opportunity to see what other people think about what you have done. Now, so when you're being rejected, it means that your best is not good for that person. And it's an opportunity for you to gain feedback from them. Okay. Now, I have realized that some people, when they're being turned down or when they're being rejected, they cry. And I was saying to somebody, I think a couple of weeks ago, I said, crying does not really mean anything to me. It's sort of, it comes, you come across as being very weak. And whoever you're crying to, or whoever you're crying with, you're not actually giving them the opportunity to give you the right feedback, because you are compromising the situation by your emotions. So why cry? You don't have to cry. And the moment I came to this part of the world, I'm currently in England, I realized that crying does not do anything. Crying it doesn't really work. It just shows that you're weak. It shows that you're not confident enough. So when you're being rejected, you need to take the courage, stand, face it, and say, okay, thank you for the opportunity to showcase my business. I'm open to feedback because you're opening your mind to get feedback from people who have seen that you are not doing something in the right way. But when you're there crying, they feel pity for you, and they will not be quick to actually give you feedback. They feel a little bit laid down. Alternatively, you might get angry. Oh God, I do that. I do that a lot. I get angry, and I've realized that when you're angry, it just, especially with me, I sell away my emotions quickly, and people can see when I'm angry or when I'm happy. So you sell away your emotions, and the person who is maybe doing the interview with you or who has said no to you can tell that you are angry and will not be open to give you feedback because they don't even know how you're going to take the feedback. So they're just within their own shell. So what am I trying to say? Do not cry. Do not get angry. Show that it's okay to say, well, I'm not happy about it. I don't really feel good about it. But I'm open to learn. I'm open to get feedback. It's an opportunity for me to learn something new. It's an opportunity for me to see something from a very different perspective. So be very careful. And yes, like I said, you have to move on. You really have to move on. Don't keep dwelling on, because when you sit down and you keep mourning for a long time, it just, you begin to justify the reasons why you need to be unhappy, and it begins to pile up. And then it goes from one thing to the other. You start making excuses for yourself on reasons why that person or that business should not be rejected, why that person should like your post, or why that person should not like your post or should not reply your chat. It can't be the situation. Something happened recently, and a friend of mine, spoke to me somehow, and I started reading different meanings. And I spoke to my mom, I spoke to my husband, and one thing I realized, that they were all saying the same thing. It is the circumstance. It is the situation. So do not take it very personal. And that's what I'm saying to you now. Whenever you're faced with anything, any rejection, try as much as possible not to take it personal. Now, you also might be in a situation where you're being rejected. For example, a friend has not invited you to a party, or has not invited, maybe something like that. You don't, they haven't invited you to that party because they don't feel appropriate. They don't feel that they don't need, maybe they don't need your presence there at that time. But you see, there are things, there are qualities that you have that you can celebrate. So let them enjoy their party, and get familiar with those people that would celebrate you. Because if you force yourself to go to that party, trust me, you wouldn't be unhappy, because even that your friend would not recognize your presence. So when you're being rejected, maybe I'm just giving that example, celebrate yourself with people that appreciate you for who you are. Celebrate your small circle that you have. You know that for that party, or that whatever it is, whatever you have does not work for that person. And this also tie into it's an opportunity for you to appreciate the good things about yourself. So I still use the example, maybe a friend that has not invited you for a drink or something. Grab those that are close to you and have a drink and enjoy it. Enjoy with people of like minds, people that appreciate you for who you are. And you don't even have to do it with people. Celebrate yourself. within your own self. Sometime last year, some group of people, rejected me, and I mourned. I wasn't happy, but I realized that what I had, I didn't fit within that circle. It wasn't something that will it wasn't something that will go well with them, or what's the right, it wasn't working for them. Whatever my personality is does not fit in within that circle, and that is why they rejected me. But at first, maybe for a couple of days, I took it personal. But then I looked beyond that, and I appreciated the small circle that I have, the people that celebrated me. And I stayed within that circle, and I remained happy. Yeah, apparently it helped me. And then I started looking at the fact that if I get into that circle and I get into trouble, or if I get into that circle and I do the things that I don't want to do, I compromise the values that I have, because I'm being exposed to things that I'm not supposed to be exposed to. So always look at rejection in a new perspective. Look at it that something is not right, something is not working. You might be there and you might regret it. Because of course, if you force yourself into that environment, into that circle, into that party, into that job, you would very, very uncomfortable. You might force yourself into that business contract and you end up losing a lot of money. So try not to force yourself. When you're being rejected, look at it from a new perspective. Celebrate what you have. Celebrate your product. Appreciate it, because it is your hard work, and try to look ahead for people who will appreciate what you've got, who would appreciate your product for what it is. And like I said, if there is an opportunity for you to improve on the product, go ahead and make the best use of improving on the product. Experience, they say, is an important teacher. So when you're being rejected, it gives you experience, because when you do it over and over again, you're beginning to learn things that you could do better. I think I talked about me going for multiple interviews and being rejected. It gave me the opportunity to improve on my CV. It gave me the opportunity to actually learn what to say to employers. And eventually I got the job. I became very good with doing interviews. I became very, very confident. At the time I started the interviews, I wasn't very confident, but with the experience that I had, I became very, very confident with that business. If your business proposal is being rejected, for every time you pitch your business, you always get feedback, and it improves the experience that you have. So if you're faced with rejection, do not spend so much time feeling really bad, because you don't want it to affect or to compromise your quality of life. You don't want being rejected to give you low self-esteem, because you would lose confidence if you're dwelling on that rejection, as opposed to seeing it in a new perspective, as opposed to you seeing it as an opportunity to gain feedback, as an opportunity to learn something new. Take rejection very lightly, and lightly in the sense that do not take it personal. It can be very hard, it can be very painful and hurtful as well. And I can relate, because for me, it is a learning curve as well. I really don't like people say no to me. And I would say that it does not mean that you should not go ahead to try, because some people, for me, for a long time, I don't really ask, because I don't want people to say no to me. But I have realized that it's either a yes or a no. And if you don't ask, some people would say, well, if you had asked, I would have given. Or, if you had asked, I would have maybe recommended you. So why not go ahead and ask? And you know that you have asked, you have do your own bits, and leave other people's actions. Don't decide for other people. Do not let the fear of rejection stop you from moving ahead. stop you from achieving your goals and achieving your dreams. And this is for you today. That person, if you're actually scared of asking, trust me, it's either a yes or a no. It's either an opportunity to learn how to ask next time. Maybe you haven't asked rightly. It's either an opportunity for you to see something in a different perspective. For you that is watching now, how have you been able to handle rejection? Do you cry? Do you feel bad for so many days? Do you reflect? Share your thoughts with me. I want to hear from you. How have you been able to move on from being rejected, or even being, even failing as well? How have you been able to manage it in the past? I want to leave your thoughts in the comments. And for those that have picked one or two things, I want you to share in the comments how you are going to handle rejection, how you're going to deal with rejection henceforth. And if you know somebody that needs to hear this, and please feel free to share this with them. Share this with your family, share this with your friends. And of course, if you have enjoyed it, do not forget to give it a thumbs up. And thanks for watching. If you have any question that you want me to talk about, if I cannot talk about it, I'll definitely get people to talk about it. The email is on the screen. Do not forget to follow our social media pages on Facebook, on Instagram, and of course YouTube. Do not forget to follow us and give this video a like as well. And thanks for watching. And this is Bola Adeyeye Omishade, and I'll see you next week. Bye.